What's the most messed up prank someone pulled on you? I walked into my room and saw my girlfriend on top of my best friend, and her bra was off one shoulder. His boxers were halfway down, and they were both making sounds like they were in the middle of something. So I froze, not just because of what I saw, but because of how real it looked. Her hands were on his chest and his face was tilted back and the bed was shaking. I couldn't even speak. I just stood there with my keys still in my hand while my stomach folded in on itself. We'd been dating for 2 years, and she knew everything about me. My weird sleep habits, my favorite playlists, the way I always folded my hoodies before bed, and she'd met my family, and we had a trip planned next month, and I even had notes on my phone of places she mentioned wanting to visit. And a week ago, I asked her ring size, not because I was ready to propose, but because I thought someday soon I would be, and I trusted her like a limb, and believed I knew her better than anyone. But in 1 second, it all fell apart. I backed out of the room and slammed the door and started walking toward the stairs, but I heard them laughing and calling after me, and at first I thought they were just shameless. But then she shouted that it was a prank and told me to wait because it was just a joke, and I felt even more sick. I didn't turn around at first because I didn't want to hear what came next, but she caught up to me fast, holding her phone like she was showing me proof she hadn't cheated, and told me to look at a hidden camera video. And it showed a living room view, time-stamped, and she told me they thought it'd be funny and I was supposed to get mad. The video showed them setting it up, talking about which clothes would make it look real, practicing the sounds, rehearsing how they'd position themselves, and laughing like this was their best idea ever. And I watched her toss her shirt to the floor, and I watched him slap the side of her leg and say I would probably cry. They were enjoying it, and not just the joke, the idea of it, and my reaction was part of the entertainment. And she told me again they didn't do anything and it was just to mess with me, but the way my hands were still shaking and my heart was still pounding told me everything I needed to know. I told her I didn't care that it wasn't real, and I told her what mattered was how real they made it, and I told her she didn't cheat, but she wanted me to believe she did, and she laughed about it. She tried to say I was being dramatic, that it wasn't that deep, and that people online do worse, but I just looked at her and told her I wasn't breaking up because I thought she cheated, but because she thought my pain would be funny, and then I walked away. I didn't yell or throw anything or even block her, I just stopped answering. But 2 weeks later, I texted her to meet me for dinner, and she said yes, and told me she was glad I was ready to talk, and told me she missed me. She showed up wearing makeup and that necklace I bought her for her birthday, and I was already seated when she walked in, and she smiled like she was expecting a fix-it moment, but she didn't realize 2 other people were already sitting at the table, her parents. I said hi, then poured wine for everyone, and she sat down like she was trying to keep it together, but her eyes kept darting between us. But I smiled, and then pulled out my phone and hit play. The Bluetooth connected to the restaurant speaker, and the audio wasn't loud, but clear, with her voice, his voice, and the fake moans. Her dad's face went pale, and her mom slowly set down her fork, and she reached across the table and tried to grab my phone, but I pulled it back and told the waiter we just need the check, and she kept saying my name and asking me to stop, but I didn't answer. She wanted my reaction, so I gave her a memory she would never forget.